Okay, this is a way to submit your projects. Um, this is the assignment page from Web Access, and in this page we're going to talk about creating an ePortfolio, setting the shareable option to make it viewable to at least to me, um, and then you're going to update a couple of pages, your goals page and your program page, major/program page, and your major/program page will require you to select a program learning outcome that you're going to match up your project with, and then you want to make sure that your site works okay, and then you're going to finally submit the link. You're going to submit the link here under Edit My Submissions. Alright, let's create it. One thing that you should do is you should log in to your my.smccd.edu account, your email account. And so when you click here, if you're logged in properly, then you should see your SMCCD account here. If you don't see that, or if you see a Gmail account or something else, then it's not going to work properly. So you want to make sure that you're logged in with your my.smccd.edu account. And let's go ahead and use this template. You're going to name your site with your last name and whatever else might follow. I'm going to call it Lapuz5, and just click on Create. Once this is created, it'll look something like this. You have a goals and majors program that you're gonna edit. The academics and the campus and community and resume would be something that you can do in your own time if you want. This instruction page would give you information about how, or pointers on how to edit things. So some notes on the ePortfolio, the goals page, the academics page, the reflections, the majors programs, and etc. So that's for you to look at later on. Let's go back to the goals page and let's click on the sharing. Right now haven't clicked on it yet. Right now it says private only to me, and what we want to do is we want to be able to have this change so I can have access to it. So click on change this private, and any of these other buttons would work for me as long as you give me the URL. So let's just say this would be fine. I'm going to make mine public on the web and save. This page, by the way, is a page called Manage Your Sites, and then there's some options over here. We're going to come back to this Manage Your Sites page in a little bit, but for now let's go back. If you want to go back to your home page or to your page that you're working on, you can click on Lapuz5 again, and it'll bring you back to this page. Or you can keep track of your tabs up here, and it looks like I have two of the same thing, so I'm going to close one of them and focus on this. Okay, now that I've made it shareable, I want to edit my goals page. So to edit my goals page, I'm going to click on Edit, and I'm going to just go ahead and delete everything below the goals page over here. So I have nothing there. Now the instructions page, you might think that that's gone, but the actual page is still accessible, and I'll show you where to find that in a few minutes. But for now, we've cleared that out, and then we want to say something about yourself here. So I happen to have typed mine up already. In a separate Word file. So I have a picture that I want to include also, and it's really suggested, I suggest that you include a picture in the goals page. And so if I just click on this thing, I have my text figured out over here. Now my picture is in here, so to insert a picture, Click on anywhere on the page and click on Insert and this image button over here. And then if you have this somewhere on the web, you can click on web address and then type in the URL, or you can upload the image. So I have it in my computer, and I will upload it, and then I'll use this image. And then I'll click OK. Now this image seems to be a little bit too big for this. I want to control this a little bit. If you know HTML, then you can control that using HTML. And if you don't know HTML, you can click on the image, and then down here we have some simple options. First of all, I would like to make this small. So now it's shrunk to small. You can make it small, medium, or large. Click on the image again. I want it to stay on the left side, and I want the words to wrap around it. So I can click on Wrap On, and here goes my page. If you have any other websites or any other links that you might want to include, you can go ahead and include that. My home page is, and then my home page is, let's see, smccd.edu/. So this is my home page. So if I want to include that, I'm going to copy this link and paste it here. And right now, if I have this just like this, it's not going to be live. So I'm going to click on this and click on link, and then it's going to be now a live link. Okay, so that's the beginning part. Now goals is already set up, and this is pretty much how I'd like to leave it for now. So don't forget to hit save. So there's a save button up here. If you move out of this page, then they might ask you, are you sure you want to move out? It's not saved. But in case it doesn't do that, you might lose it. So just keep in mind the save button over here. So now my goals is saved. Now I want to go to major/program and edit that. So this is going to be a little bit lengthier, but this is where your project is going to go. And since you only have one project that you're submitting, this will fall under Program Learning Outcome 1. Now some of you might have two projects that you need to submit, one for linear algebra, one for differential equations. So let's make sure that we can set this up to include two projects. So the Program Learning Outcomes page will look like this. Let's do the first submission first. Okay, so whenever we want to edit the page, we can click on Edit. And then for this page, let's take out all this other subtext over here that's not needed. I want to keep this text, or this box over here that has Program Learning Outcome 1. And I want to take this text out. I'm not dealing with English. We're dealing with math and STEM. And so my program learning outcome for the first one is going to depend on what your project is. So I have several projects that I'm going to upload, and one of my projects is a project from complex analysis, and this project from complex analysis is information about pretty mathematical stuff, almost like a proof of some sort. And so if you're in that realm where you're proving theorems, here's a list of your program learning outcomes. Actually, the list of your program learning outcomes are down here. And the first one is demonstrating the ability to clearly and precisely present mathematical ideas. Now we didn't get a chance to do things in oral form, but we did it in written form. So I'm going to still use this particular learning outcome. I copied it and I'm going to paste it onto here. Okay, so this is my program learning outcome. By the way, if you also worked in a group, then you can also include this last program learning outcome. So there were some, for some people, you might have worked in groups, and so I want you to make sure that you include the second program learning outcome. Okay, now the reflection, my reflection on this is already written, so that's another thing that you probably should try to do before you start messing around with these pages, is to write about what your thoughts are. Now, what does the reflection contain? The reflection contains a little bit about the assignment itself that you were doing. So in your case, it's probably going to be a project. And then this project was from my linear algebra class, or this project was from my differential equations class. And you should also include the semester, so that if you see this a few semesters or a few years from now, you'll know exactly where it came from. You may also want to put that this is an assignment from Professor Lapuz. Okay, so this is the reflection. Now your actual evidence will come as a link to another page. Now the other page is called Evidence PLO, and both of these will send you to the same page that's part of this site. So in a few minutes we'll talk about that page again when we go to manage sites, but for now let's just go there. Before we go there, let's save this. Don't forget to save. Always save. So now your program, your major/programs page is saved. Now let's go to this link over here, or the same link over here, and this will put you to another page called Evidence PLO under Math or Majors program. And let's edit this. Let's remember that the PLO that we're using for this, actually let's go back to Majors page over here and recopy these. So I'm going to copy this, and then I'm going to go back to the evidence page again and click on edit and paste all that information. Okay, so in my evidence I want to include a little bit more information about the project that I have. So some of that came from the reflection, but this project, or this assignment, I'm going to call it assignment, was from my complex analysis class. The assignment was about, you should say what the assignment was about. The assignment asked us to provide graphs of sets in the complex plane. It also asked us to show roots of unity. So my assignment came in two parts, and at this point this is all I really want to say about the assignment. I don't have any special links to any outside sources or outside URLs. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. But my actual assignment, let's take a look at my actual assignment, is actually done in a Word file, and it looks something like this. And so when you do your project, it would be good to make sure that you have your name on it and your assignment number, etc. And then all the information. And so notice that there's all these mathematical text and some pictures and graphs that were copied and pasted from other programs that I used. Okay, so that's assignment that I want to upload, and my evidence page, and actually all your pages, but more specifically in my evidence page I want to include a file. So let's click on Add Files, Complex Analysis Homework Assignment, and then my page is done. So this is complete. My evidence PLO 1 is complete. Alright, so let's go back to majors and program. Now if you're in both classes, both linear algebra and differential equations, you're going to have a second one that you're going to need to include. So what I'm going to ask you to do is just basically copy and paste this whole thing, and to do that let's go back to edit. So the pencil icon again, and this time I'm going to try to highlight this whole box. Now this box is really simply a table, and if you know how to mess around with HTML, then you can really just click on that or highlight the table and copy and paste that. So I copied it. I put my cursor to the right here and had a couple of returns so I have a little bit of space, and now I'm going to paste it. Now it looks like the paste didn't quite work because I didn't copy everything. So let's try that again. I want to copy the box, the whole box, and keep it in the box because the box looks nice. So I had put some extra lines down here, so that might be better if I copy that whole thing including the extra lines, put my cursor with some space between the boxes and click paste, and let's see what happened. There it goes. So I have two of the exact same box temporarily, but now I'm going to change the bottom one, the second one. So this is Program Learning Outcome 2. And my second program learning outcome, some of you might have it the same, but in my second example that I'm going to do, I actually wrote a program that used some mathematics. And so the PLO that I'm going to use for that is effectively apply appropriate technological tools in implementing mathematics and solving math problems. So I implemented some calculus here. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it here. And let's say for this one I didn't work in a group, so I'm going to take that second one out. So Program Learning Outcome 2. My reflection was done. This seems to be a little bit longer than the first one. So I'm going to copy and paste that in my reflection section. And then the link to evidence, this link over here goes to PLO 1, so I want to be careful with that. I'm going to remove this link, and I'm going to say evidence to PLO 2, and then I'm going to add a new page for this. But before I go on, I'm going to go ahead and save this before anything happens. Okay, now let's add the second page for my program learning outcomes, and a couple ways to do that is to go up here and go to More and Manage Sites. So we're in this Manage Sites page, and I click on Pages over here. This should look familiar, kind of. Click on the page over here, and under Major Program I have Evidence PLO 1. So I want to create another page under that. So let's click on Majors Program. This is actually going to bring me back to the Majors Program page. and I'm going to say new page, and let's call it evidence PLO 2. Now there's a URL here that I'm not really going to care about because the site is automatically going to fix that up. I want this to be under the major program page. That's why we went there in the first place. And then I'm going to ask it to create. And so this is going to look just like the other page that we've created. So let's say my PLO2 was, what was it again? It was this effectively apply appropriate technological tools. So let's copy that and paste it here. And then write something about it. This was a program assignment from my Python class. So I wrote a program in Python, and we were asked to implement the game Pong. And so this was actually in my reflection already, but as an addition to my PLO page here, I have a couple of things that I want to include. First, I want to include a URL to the actual game that I wrote. So the URL is here. So let's say evidence to the link. I'm going to copy this whole thing. Evidence to the link is this URL link over here. To run the program, click on the run arrow near the upper left corner of the browser. So I'll mess with that in a few minutes. I also want to upload the code. Code for the program is a text file, and it could be accessed below. Alright, so again, we want to be vigilant about the save button over here. My text file, let's see, looks like this. This is my program written in Python, and so I want to add that file. So that file is added, and I want to check this link to make sure it works. And it looks like it works. So this pops up. This is where I wrote my program, and I run it, and here's my game. And I use my arrows on one side and some W and S buttons on the other side to play the game. Alright, so we don't need to play this anymore, and we know that this works. So back to our page. This is our evidence link. It's already saved. Now if you click go under major program again and go down to the bottom, we'll see that the evidence PLO1 and evidence PLO2 are there, so that's great. This link over here goes to evidence PLO1, and this link, it's supposed to go to evidence PLO2, and right now it's not live. So let's go ahead and fix that. Edit. Evidence PLO2 is what we meant to say. Let's highlight that, and there's this chain button that says to link it to something. And so our page is under here, major program evidence PLO2. That's the new page that we just created. So let's click on that so it's highlighted, and click OK. And so that should work. Maybe this one you can also make it clear evidence PLO1, and I guess that doesn't have to be highlighted if you don't want it to be. So this is all set up. Okay, so let's go ahead and press save again. Alright, you should be all set. It looks like everything works. And one more thing that you should do is just to, when you're playing around with this, go to Manage Sites, explore some of the information that you have in Pages. You have the instruction page that I was talking about that wasn't initially in the goals page is no longer there. At least the link's no longer there, but the page is still here. So you can click on this to view that same page that we deleted the link to. And the majors and programs, PLO1, PLO2. You can add more PLOs here if you have any more information. And one more thing that you can do, if you go back to Manage Sites, let's go back to Manage Site. And then this is a site name. Now we set the site name initially so that we can have our URL set up, but really you can change it to anything you want now. So I can change it to Ray Lapu's ePortfolio and hit save, so that when I go to the home page, I'll see a new name over here instead of just my last name. Alright, one more check. The goals page looks good. The major/program page looks good. The evidence to PLO2 looks like it works. And here's my text file that I can download or take out. And everything is set. So let's go back to share. And here is the link that I have. So I'm going to copy that. And let's go back to the assignments page in web access, edit my submission. Edit my submission opens up this submission box. So this might be blank for you or might have something there, but to finally submit my homework or my project, I'm going to copy and paste that link. I'm going to highlight everything and click on this link that says insert web link and paste the same URL there. And they're not going to let you get away, I think, here without a title. And this is important. I would like for you to click on target new window so that when I click on it, it'll open up a new window, so I don't have to keep hitting the back button when I'm checking everybody's ePortfolio. So press OK, and that link should be ready to go. Save changes, and then we're all set. So when I go ahead and check this, I should be able to open it up. So what I'll do is I'll open up another browser. Let me go into this account as an instructor this time. And let me take a look at that assignment. No attempts have been made, so I guess I can't take a look at that assignment. Well, I should be able to check your assignments then, and this will be due at the end of the semester. So good luck, have fun with this. This is going to be your ePortfolio in the future, so if there's anything else you want to do to it, you can always keep on updating it, include your resume, and then show it off to any future colleges or employers that you might be applying to. Okay, good luck, have fun.